The best way to lower your tax liability is to utilize the IRS tax code to your benefit. It's not a one size fits all. Some of these may apply to you and some of them may not, but I'm going to give you 5 strategies that we use for our clients to help them lower their tax liability. So the first strategy is tax loss harvesting. Tax loss harvesting is intentionally selling an asset at a loss. That way you can deduct it on your taxes. And then if you really like that asset, you can buy it again in 31 days. Now, there's a lot of nuances to tax loss harvesting. And if you want more information on it, you can watch a separate video I did on how to do tax loss harvesting and some of the pitfalls when it comes to tax loss harvesting. The second strategy is long-term capital gains taxes. Long-term capital gains taxes are capped at 20%. That's the maximum tax rate, versus short-term capital gains taxes are the maximum ordinary income tax rate that can go up to 37%. So if you have an investment and you're thinking about selling it, make sure you hold it for at least 1 year. That way you can benefit from the long-term capital gains tax rate and you're not going to get subject to the shorter-term capital gains tax rate. The third strategy is diversification. Now, I'm not talking about diversification of assets where you have different types of assets like stocks and bonds and real estate. I'm talking about account diversification. That's where you have diversified accounts within tax deferred, taxable, and also tax free. I have a whole separate video where I go into very in-depth detail about account diversification, but the general idea is that you want to have money in all these 3 different types of accounts, so that way when you want to take money out, you have choices on which accounts you can pull from that's going to have the least tax implication for you. The fourth strategy is to borrow against your portfolio. The idea behind that is if you have a portfolio of stocks or any kind of assets, you can leverage that portfolio and borrow against it. Think of it as like having a home where you have equity in your home and you do a cash out refi. When you do a cash out refi and you get that money is not taxable to you. The same principle applies if you borrow against your investment portfolio. When you take that money out, it's not taxable to you. So the fifth strategy is step up in basis. Step up in basis is useful when you're gifting assets such as stocks, bonds, or real estate to your heirs, usually your children. For example, let's assume you bought a stock and you paid $10,000 for it, and now it's worth $100,000. If you were to sell that stock, you'd have to pay capital gains tax on that difference. If you gift that stock to your children while you're living, then they too inherit your cost basis and they have to pay capital gains tax on that difference as well. But if you wait until upon your passing and you gift that stock or that asset to your kids upon your passing in your estate, then they get a step up in basis. What that means is on the date of your death, whatever the value of that asset is now becomes their cost basis. So if you paid $10,000 for that stock or that asset, on the date of your death, it's worth $1 million, and then they sell it immediately the day after, they don't pay any capital gains tax because their cost basis is $1 million, not the $10,000 that you paid for it. So these are some of the strategies we use for our clients to help them lower our taxes. I recommend you talk to your financial advisor or your CPA to see which of these strategies work best for you.